when you first enter...
Wait a minute, tell people who you are.
Hi, my name is Courtney Bradford. I'm a curator of collections here at the Mosaic Temple Arts Cultural Center. And this is the Negro Motorist Green Book exhibit, sponsored by the Smithsonian Institution as well as Exxon Mobil. Here we are. This is actually where it begins. Our title panel gives you information about when the first Green Book was published, the reason behind the Green Book, and this entire story of Mr. Green is what we're going to experience here on the first floor, as well as information about the Esso gas stations, our local Esso gas station is also featured here on this floor. I'm going to take a good look. We even have a copy of the Green Book. So an original Green Book is also on display here. This is a 1946 copy.
And for people who may not know, what is the Green Book?
So the Green Book is more of, I'll say it's a guide that is a guide to restaurants, motels, gas stations, salons, barbershops, all that were, now I won't say all, because we do have quite a few white-owned businesses inside of the Negro Motorist Green Book as well, but the majority of them are black-owned businesses, and these are places that African Americans could stop during segregation when they're traveling either from the south to the north or north to the south. And you know, we have the Great Migration to thank for the spread of African Americans in the United States. And so when people decided they wanted to visit their families, and when they decided they wanted to go vacation, they would take this Green Book, I would say more like a Bible, to kind of guide them to the safe places they could stop along their journey.
And why did they need that? Like, talk a little bit about the atmosphere.
They would encounter places such as sundown towns, which is areas that would not allow African Americans to be within city limits after the sun set. They could also encounter members of the Ku Klux Klan on their journey, or encounter individuals who simply were not tolerant of African Americans, and that encounter could easily mean their life. So, in hopes of African Americans to be able to travel safely, to be able to get to their destinations, we had the Green Book.
Okay, and what are some of the positive aspects? Like, I know that you mentioned the black businesses, so there's some positive to this too, correct?
Yes, definitely. So it's more or less a directory of a good number of those black-owned businesses. I will say that, you know, our exhibit, it does not encompass all the 10,000 businesses that were included within the Green Book, but it does kind of it pulls out quite a few businesses through the South, through the West, through the East, as well as the North. And we're kind of highlighting those businesses. So no business is, you know, greater than the other, but these are the stories that Candacy Taylor came across when she was writing her book, The Overground Railroad, which this exhibit is based upon.
And talk a little bit about that book. We're gonna have her here.
I think it's July 17th.
Yes.
Yes, we'll have her here. She'll be speaking about her book. By then, we should also have a copy of the book in our store for you all to purchase. And like I said, a lot of the images that you all see on the panels, they come directly from her book. The story, the text, it is her book in exhibit form.
Okay, and then we are having a grand opening right now, or soon?
Yes, ma'am. At 6 o'clock, we'll be opening the doors for everyone to come see this fabulous exhibit. Like I said, this is just part one. Little sneak peek. So part one is downstairs, part two is upstairs, and we can't wait for everybody to come in to enjoy it. I'm really ready to see people's reactions to the story and to the interactives. And I'm looking forward to hearing people's stories with the Green Book. Either they possibly use the Green Book, or they might be familiar with businesses that are in the area that were in the Green Book. So we know there are a lot of sites here in Little Rock or even in the Central Arkansas area that was featured in the Green Book, but that are no longer here. So we still, you know, try to remember those sites as well.
And is this something a family can come to?
Yes. This will be an awesome learning experience for children to learn a little bit of history that, you know, I believe that only a microcosm know about the Green Book. And so now this is learning about the Green Book on a more mass level. So yes, definitely bring your children. My son is here to enjoy the exhibit as well.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that has stood out for you for this exhibit?
I would say, and it's upstairs, I don't see it, but there's an image of ladies, and they're standing outside, I believe it's the Ambassador Hotel, and I mean, it really truly just reminds me of my grandmother, because that's how she would dress, that's how she would carry herself, and just reading the stories about traveling, it makes so much sense, because we traveled a lot with my grandparents, and now the idea of packing a lot of clothes and packing food and things of that nature, it makes sense. You know, so as a kid, I was used to stopping, you know, we could stop at McDonald's, we could stop at Wendy's, but my grandmother, like my grandparents were so used to, you know, what they had to endure. So even when we were children, we're still going through the notion of packing everything that you absolutely need in the car so we don't have to stop in different places. And so I can connect to that majorly when I think about when we would go on road trips. And I always wonder when my grandmother brought like 1 million bags and she would have more or less her life in those bags. And now I understand, you know, why and what that meant, and them just simply trying to protect themselves. And so I see my grandparents in here. I think about all the trips that we traveled on, and it's really truly amazing. It's an emotional story. It can be an overwhelming story, but there's no way to tell a history without telling the truth and tell it how exactly it was. And so I'm just honored once again to be able to have this exhibit, to be able to present this to the Little Rock community as well as the state of Arkansas.
And this exhibit stays on until when?
Until August the 1st.
Okay. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Y'all come on down. 6 to 8. Grand opening. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Harlem. Smiles, paradise. I love these cases. I'm gonna work on my stuff.
Oh, and we're also going to have a virtual lunch and learn about the Esso gas station, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we'll be talking to the son of A.C. Lewis. So we do have a few of his things here on display. We'll be talking to his son about what it was like for his father to have an Esso business, what was it like for him to be a part of the community, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, that's going to be a live stream, and that's family for you, right?
Yes, Mr. Lewis, Mr. A.C. Lewis is actually my great uncle. And so Lewis Towing will be here tonight representing.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting ready for the grand opening. And you'll get a sneak peek of some of the renovation projects that are coming on at MTCC. Okay, come to the block party. Bye.